RingVille episode, Anthony Small. Yo, what's up everyone? How you doing? My name is Kevin Herrera, Sanchez, KHS, and welcome to a very special episode of RingVille. Today, he's not a wrestler, he's not a manager, he doesn't appear on camera, but very important nonetheless. Please welcome one of the production homies who's been shooting for production in wrestling for over a year. He's worked for We Are Wrestling, Battleclub Pro, LPW, Remarkable Wrestling, and many, many more. Anthony Small, how you doing?
What's happening, baby? Thank you for having me. I appreciate
No, of course,
it.
yo. Appreciate you coming on.
Of course, man. Production homies, man. I got
Production
support.
homies, yes sir.
I got support.
OD. I don't think too many people know this, but I come from a production background,
right?
And where it's which is one of the reasons why I try to make it look super nice with lighting, cameras, and everything. Right? So it's like production in wrestling is critical.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In your opinion, what are some of the more important elements of production when it comes to wrestling?
Lighting. 100,000% lighting. I've been to, and not to throw shade, the Mecca. And I've had shows I've been to shows that have good lighting, and then I've seen shows that have terrible lighting. And there is a difference, and you can see the difference. And on the production side, if you're editing, you want the lighting. You need the lighting.
Yeah, OD.
You need the lighting because there's just certain things you can't undo. Like if it's too dark, or like if the lighting is muddy for whatever reason, or like the lighting is like yellow usually,
yeah,
you can't undo that. You're gonna sit for hours trying to fix it, and it'll never get to a point where you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And you just wish you had the lighting.
No, absolutely. And it's especially too where sometimes it's not even just having good quality lights. It's just lifting up the ambience in the room.
Just having lights, period.
Yeah, because it's then some wrestlers, you're wait, I lost a detail in their gear.
Right.
And then it's well, I can't really see the match.
Yeah.
And it's no, sometimes it's it doesn't matter how good your camera is.
There's nothing you can do.
If it's too dark,
there's nothing you can do.
You can do.
And the thing is, what looks okay, to the naked eye, doesn't translate the same on camera.
It's not.
Because it's just because of how cameras work, and because of how the digitization process works. Big words. Because of how the technology of it works, you need light in order to see everything.
Right.
You need more light than you think in order to see everything. And depending on how your camera is, depending on what kind of camera it is, the quality, you're gonna lose something. So you'd rather have too much light than not enough light, because you can always bring it down. You can always take away, you can never add. The same thing with audio.
Yeah.
You can't, once you peak, once it's distorted, you can't undistort it. You can't fix that.
How did you start shooting for wrestling?
So I was at a point in my life where I needed a change, and I was trying to find something that I was passionate in. So I just got a new camera. I've always been a camera guy, but I just got a new camera, and I wanted to do something I hadn't done before. So the first independent show was Jobber Slam 3.
Oh, the first show you shot?
I didn't shoot it. I just went to it.
You just went to it. Okay. Nice.
And I brought my camera with me in the idea of you know what, maybe I can get some clips, get some shots, see what happens.
Right.
Watch what happens. So I pull up to the show. At that point, I had already met Janelle from HR, from the Jobber Tiers, and that was cool. So I bought a ticket, pulled up to the show, said what's up to her, found the spot where I can see everything, and it was coincidentally right by the entrance. And I was let's see what I can do.
Yeah, the place where you decide to sit or stand, super important.
Critical, very critical. Especially if, depending on where hard cam is, if there is a hard cam, because some of these shows don't shoot, for online. Most of them do, thankfully. But your perspective is pretty much your perspective on the show.
Right.
And some seats are better than others.
Yeah.
And some seats are dope to sit at and watch the show, but don't really translate well on camera.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting by the corner post, you can probably see fine, but on camera all you see is the corner in the back of people's heads.
Yeah. Jobber Slam 3, right? And then you just get a couple of clips.
Yeah.
And then what then translates over to you being hired by these companies to just shoot for them?
A long process, man. It's a long process. I have a handful of people to thank. First first on the list, and somebody you can probably get on the show. A guy named Kevin Wood. He's pretty well known in like the photographer, videographer space, like for wrestling.
Yeah.
But he was shooting for Battleclub, who hosts Jobber Slam. For whatever reason, I think he was there. I'm not sure if he was or if he wasn't. I don't remember. He probably was. But I'm posting the clips. He sees them. He hits me randomly. So his name on Instagram is just KW. It's just his initials, which is his logo. And he was like, hey man, I like your stuff. It looks pretty dope. We should collab at some point. I was like, all right, cool. I think nothing of it. Yeah. Fast forward, so Jobber Slam was in August that year. Fast forward maybe a month or two. And he hits me again. He's like, yo, I have an opportunity for you. What is it? He's like, there's a company called Fightt Pro out of like Jersey, South Jersey, Philly area. I usually shoot for them, but I can't make it this time. I dropped your name. I showed them your stuff. If you want to do it, it's yours. Yeah. So November 2023 was the first time I got paid to shoot anything for wrestling. And I went out to Fightt Pro, fucking had no idea. I had no clue what I was doing.
It was sink or swim.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I was doing. But essentially what I was doing was shooting promos, like the pre-tapes for the show. So I shot a bunch of promos, shot a bunch of segments, and that was cool. That was good enough. I've been shooting with them since. Nice. They shoot like 4 times a year, 5 times a year. Yeah. So we go out there, we shoot 3 shows worth of pre-tapes and stuff, and we rock out from there. After Jobber Slam, I started seeing more and more shows. I found House of Glory. Nice. I found We Are Wrestling in the Bronx. I saw Catalyst. I saw Invictus at the time. I started just seeing more and more independent wrestling. So I'm finding more and more wrestlers. I'm adding them on Instagram. I'm tagging them and stuff, and it's just like the algorithm starts to snowball that in that direction. From then, at that point, it's just me going to shows, getting clips, posting them and tagging them. And it wasn't until this year, and the last year, this year, where like a company is like, hey, we'll pay you to shoot. Other than that, I'm just coming to shows and just showing love and supporting. Right. Over time though, like I stopped paying for shows. Like I just started coming. Yeah, I feel because like
here's the footage, right?
It's like, hey, what's up? I'll be over there. You know what I mean? And that's been probably one of the more rewarding things too. Like being able to walk into certain places with super, super high quality talent. And a lot of that was built through tagging people and DMing people and exchanging back and forth, just building those relationships slowly. Because like to this day, I still really don't know where I'm going with any of this. I'm just doing this because I'm enjoying it. It's creating an avenue where I get to practice what I love doing, and I get to meet people who super dope and accommodating, to the point where I'm sitting here with you. And like the first time we met, we bonded over production. Right. Because we were shooting at the time on the same equipment. Yeah. And then we complained about the equipment. And it's like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. But there's been a couple of opportunities where like, because I realized too, a lot of this, if you're getting into this for the money, don't. It just doesn't work that way. And it's nobody's fault. It's just the kind of the nature of the business, as weird as that is to say. Like, I learned that the wrestlers and us, we really, as far as like wrestling production goes, we're kind of in the same boat. It's just they're higher in demand, right? Because they're the talent, right? We kind of get, I don't want to say overlooked, but like certain people understand the value of good production. Yeah. Like there's some people who value production for the show, and then there's some people who value the show and just record it and put it up.
Exactly. What's that first day going all the way to Jersey, South Jersey?
It's super crazy. 827 Jersey Avenue, Gloucester City, New Jersey. Okay. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's essentially Philly.
It's deep. It's literally parallel Philly. It's a long ride. I had no idea. And at the time, like I'd taken like long drives and stuff before, but pulling up to a spot I'd never gone to before.
Right. With people you don't know.
I only knew one person there, and that was because I saw her on another show, like the week before, and that's Ruthless Lala.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, hey. Oh, she doesn't know me. Cool. Yeah, my bad. I understand.
It'd be like that. Right?
I was like, I understand.
But if you hold the camera, maybe like, oh, I remember you. Like,
no, she don't know me. It's in passing. Like that kind of like was a weird realization too, where, again, I was just in a weird place in my life where I was looking for something to kind of hold on to, and it dawned on me. I was like, oh, you know what? Because at my old job, it's the same thing. You see so many people and you interact with so many people in such a shallow way that it takes a lot for them to remember you, or it takes a lot of repetition for them to remember you.
Right.
So like seeing Lala at a show and then sending her clips or tagging her and stuff, it's not really an interaction where she's gonna remember you, especially at the time she's booked all over the place all the time. She sees so many faces, and that's everybody too.
Right,
Like
exactly.
we see so many faces, they see so many faces, and they interact with so many people. If it's 1 or 2 times, they're not gonna remember you.
Yeah, and I think that's just like also just, it's just the way it is. Like it's just the way it is.
And you shouldn't take it personal.
No, not at all.
It's just what happens.
Okay, so you get there, right? And then it's like, how do you navigate that world that you're just throwing yourself into for the first time?
I look for somebody who doesn't look like a wrestler, and I ask them questions. And it was, I think the first person I walked into was Ernie, the owner of Fightt Pro, with 2 T's.
Okay.
And then I meet him, talk to him for a little bit, and then I meet Jason Heat. He's the producer, but he pretty much runs the show, right? The production side of stuff. And he does commentary.
Nice.
So there's a lot on his plate. And for me, kind of being a first-time guy and not really knowing how to talk to people, you know, who to navigate, because I don't know if you go through this too, like there's a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
That I'm still working through, and I still get every now and
I don't
then.
think it ever goes away fully.
Probably not. It probably shouldn't, not for nothing, because it does a good job of keeping you humble.
Yeah.
But also like talking to strangers. Again, like you realize pretty quickly that these are just people who happen to do this.
Right.
But like, I'm a bigger guy, and my issue is I don't like being in the way. So I do my best to make my footprint as small as possible. So I'm coming in, these guys are warming up. These people are, you know, kind of getting into their zone. I don't know these people. Hey, let's shoot this thing real quick. It's awkward, right? So Jason was, hey, let's get into this place, let's figure this out. And they started asking me questions, like my opinions on stuff. And like slowly, like during the course of the day, I started getting more comfortable. Shout out to Killian McMurphy, who is one of the funnier people in wrestling. One of the better people in wrestling too is my guy. Shout out to you. He kind of took the de facto production like role that day, because Jason had to go and prepare. So it was half of the day was me and Jason, then the other half was me and Killian, and we were going around getting people, shooting promos. And by the end of the night, I was fucking exhausted. But it was a dope experience, and it was like, okay, cool.
So in that time, right, from going to your first show to now shooting various shows, because I feel every time I go to a show, you're there shooting. Like, you be outside. Like,
yeah, like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, for real. It's like, what are some of the like things that you've had to like learn over time, where it's like placement of cameras, right, and then like not taking up too much space? It's like, what are some other things that you just kind of picked up as you go?
So there's only been a handful of shows that I've shot ringside for, right? Ringside production for the show.
Okay.
Everything else I'm shooting from the crowd. So basically what I figured out is trust your instinct. If it looks good to you, like with the naked eye, trust your gear, find the spot, set your settings up, and just start shooting. And as a wrestling fan, what I learned, I should say, was I would see spots coming, so I'd get everything ready. Like, okay, cool. That became difficult because for one reason or another, you're missing part of it, or it got there faster than you thought it would.
Right.
Or you hit record and it just doesn't record yet because it's still booting up, and then it records and the spot is over, and now you have a 2-second clip with nothing on it. So some places, not everywhere, would allow me, or again, they didn't know I'm doing this. I'm just recording the whole match. Like House of Glory, I do that. I'll just record the whole match.
Like,
and then
you don't miss
clips,
anything. Yeah.
and then chop clips from there, and then post them.
Right.
To the point where, thankfully, they're so gracious and they're so generous and they like me enough to where some of my footage I send to production for free. I'm not asking for anything. I'm thankful that I'm able to just walk into some of these shows, like because of the relationships that I've built with the people there. So yeah, take it.
Nice.
If you need it, no problem.
You mainly shoot from the crowd. What was that experience like shooting ringside for the first time?
It was very different. It's a different experience because from the crowd, you get to enjoy the show. You get to enjoy what happens. When you're shooting ringside, you're shooting with purpose. So you're enjoying the experience of being there. You feel the energy, but I got to get this shot. I got to make sure it's in focus. Fuck, the rope is in the way.
Right.
I got to find where I can get the best angle. I got to dodge other people. I got to make sure I don't trip on the mats. It's a lot of focus that comes with it. But if you're in a good spot, you get a good rhythm, you're around good people, good chemistry, it's so much fun.
It is.
It's so much fun.
What are some of the other names on the list of people you have to are super thankful for?
Sir Wilkins from the Jobber-Tears. I was at one of the watch parties for, I think it was actually Backlash. I forget where. It might have been in Leon. And it was last year where I'm at the watch party, and it was the same night as LPW, the House of Glory student show, Legacy Pro Wrestling. And he's like, "Yo, you want to come shoot?" Sure. So I went, shot. I met a guy known as Oni King, who at the time, kind of still does, was running production for Legacy Pro Wrestling. And I got to meet him, got super cool with him, and me and him bonded because, again, we were shooting on the same equipment.
Nice.
So
Did he shoot some Black Magic?
At the time, he did. He doesn't anymore.
Gotcha.
But at the time, I was like, "Oh, I know what that is. This and this and this happened." He's like, "Yes. How do you know?" I'm like, "I shoot on it too." He's like, "Word? So how do you?" And so like we just bonded over like nerd shit. And I asked him, so I was like, "Is this paid?" He's like, "No, but I can get you into whatever the next show was." And I think the next show happened to be High Intensity. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. And High Intensity is House of Glory's WrestleMania. It's their biggest show of the year. And it usually happens in July. Yeah, usually happens in July. So he was able to get me into that show for free. And then he couldn't stop me from coming. Because like the next couple shows, the next show actually, he's like, "Yo, you free?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" "To shoot." I'm like, "Yeah, is it paid?" He's like, "No, but I can get you to the next show." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I just pulled up, and the rest is history from there. So Sir Wilkins, Oni King, all the guys at Fightt Pro. Funny enough, Jorge Santi.
Really?
Jorge Santi is super cool. Because again, for Battleclub, he's one of their instructors, but he's just a good dude.
He is.
Like he's just a good dude, man. And he's super funny, he's super cool. So like just like randomly, I'd DM him jokes, so I'd send him funny stuff, and like he'd respond. So like, "Okay, cool." And then I'd see him at shows, and it'd be love. So like, he's one of the people that went a long way in kind of like welcoming me into this world, right? Another person, a big deal, Nick Shin, referee Nick Shin. So through the bonds and the relationship that I built with Oni King in LPW, they got a spot to shoot at Afropunk last summer. And I told them I was gonna be production. I didn't even ask him. I was like, "I'm going to Afropunk." He's like, "I'll see if I can get you in."
I'm in already. Like,
Like, all right, cool. Just so you know.
Yeah.
But he was able to get me in kind of last minute. That happened to be the same night as Arrival 2, Homicide versus Kenta at the Mecca.
Yeah.
I wanted to go. Afropunk was a long day. I got there early. There's no shade. So I'm just there cooking in all black for like 3 hours. Shoot the show is dope. I meet Kevin Knight. And me and Kevin Knight get super cool. Because again, it's a lot of downtime. I got my camera out. He's like, oh, you want to take pictures? Yeah. Right. So we take a couple shots and we just talk super chill. And since then, it's been all love. Shout out to Kevin Knight.
Thanks.
So after the show, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get out there. Somehow or another, I figure out Shin is going. Get in contact with Shin, ask him if he can give me a ride. He's like, yeah, bet, no problem. So the ride to Jersey, we're just talking. And at this point, it's almost a year, but it's now like maybe 3 or 4 months that I'm interacting with these people as often as I am. And I'm just asking them, like, yo, so, you know, first of all, thank you for this. Second of all, like, I feel like I'm in the way. Yeah. I'm like, is it like, am I bugging? Like, is this kind of imposter syndrome? He's like, yo, if we didn't like you, you'd know. He's like, you're cool. Just be one of the guys. Like, do your best to just be one of the guys. Like, we know your work. We don't know you. Because at the time, my profile picture was like my logo.
Okay.
So there's no face to it.
Yeah.
So right after that, immediately after that, I changed it to my face. So like you can see who it is. Because there's a photographer named Second Gunny. Nobody knows what Gunny looks like. Because he doesn't post his face.
Right.
When you see him, you're like, oh, you're Gunny? That's another story. But Shin went a long way in kind of letting me know that I'm accepted. And like it alleviated the imposter syndrome a little bit more. Still go through it. Yeah. But Shin is one of those guys. He's like, nah, you good, bro. Don't worry about it. Just don't be a dick.
Right, exactly. Just be cool.
Yeah, just be cool. Yeah. Like you've done well enough so far. Just keep doing what you're doing.
The importance of a car ride is crazy. Like if you can, this is gonna sound wild, but if you can get into a car with a stranger, like going to a you know, like going to a show,
yeah,
and you just talk, you can build like just like one, long-lasting friendships.
Yeah.
Like 2, you can get so much advice and just a different perspective.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, those car rides they're gems.
Yeah, man, they're funny. They're so funny. If you get the right group of people, it's mad funny.
OD. What do you shoot on?
I shoot on Panasonic S2X. That is my camera of choice. And the reason I chose Panasonic is because their sensor and Blackmagic sensors are very similar. So like the color, more technical jargon, to color footage and get it to match, it's a little easier than it would be to shoot on one in like say a Canon or to shoot on just a different camera with a different sensor with different color signs.
Right.
Because one tweak here doesn't translate the same as the tweak here. So the closer you can get to matching them, the easier it is to make it look like one continuous product.
Has there ever been a time where you're shooting a show and maybe like something happens around your equipment and you're just like, yo?
So there was a show for a promotion that will not be named where I did everything. So I was hard cam, I was floor cam, and you were floor cam. Turns out, thank you for that, by the way, because you saved me. Because I only had one side, you had the other side, so we was able to match stuff. But there was a dive into hard cam, and there wasn't a lot of room, and the tripod I had was wide, so I did the best I could to kind of like give it as small a footprint as possible. The dive goes into the camera. So I'm looking at the ring with my camera. Hard cam is on my left. The entire time I'm recording them matching the ring like this. Trying to watch them get the tripod back up. Cause like the feed stayed, like we didn't lose any footage. But the tripod was, again, it wasn't as bad as it sounds, but it was bad enough. Because nobody there was gonna pay for that shit.
Right.
But they was able to steady it and like it was crooked for the rest of the show, but it was enough where I can like fix it in post.
Yeah.
But still, because that feeling of dread is terrible.
Oh, it's horrendous. It's horrendous because it's like this stuff, like production equipment, expensive.
None of this stuff is cheap.
Nothing at all.
None of this stuff is cheap. Oh, for those who don't want to pay production people, if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. Cool. Understand that you're not paying for. Understand what you're paying for. You're not just paying for a body to record the show, because there's plenty of shows that you can record on your phone. One of the better people that I know, Joe Kai, he's recorded a bunch of shows on his phone. Battleclub has recorded a bunch of shows on their phone, and it looks dope.
Right.
But that's a resource thing. Like they didn't have the resources to shoot on better equipment. It happens.
It's better to just get the show.
Right. But if you don't think production is important, then you are sadly mistaken. Because without quality production, the show doesn't translate the same way. And again, you're not paying for just a body to record the show. You're paying for the equipment, you're paying for travel, you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the eye of the person that you picked up.
Put some respect on production homies, please.
Absolutely.
Like, it's
Absolutely.
photographers too, like, cause it's like it's not easy. Like a good photographer, you can always tell when somebody's work is really good.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's why you want them there.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and it's not just the equipment they shoot on.
no.
It's not just the equipment, because anybody can buy a $4,000 camera and go shoot. You're paying for the vision of the person shooting. It's not what's in front of the lens, it's what's behind it.
What are some of the aspects of shooting a wrestling show that can add to it?
Lighting. I cannot emphasize enough how important lighting is. Lighting is paramount, because it's gonna look like mud if the lighting is terrible. Good audio helps. And like, I'm an audio guy who learned how to do camera stuff. Yeah. So I pride myself on making the audio sound as good as possible. Sometimes it's too good, because sometimes you can hear what they're saying in the ring, like very clearly, like calling spots and stuff. Right. But like, if it sounds good and it looks okay, you can deal with it. But if it looks great and sounds like shit, it takes you out completely.
Yeah. Bad audio will always make me turn something off.
Yeah, that's old YouTube. Everything was yellow. It's yellow mud, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
And if it didn't, you're like, I'm not watching that shit.
I'm not watching that shit.
Like even now, like I'll watch like breakdowns, or I'll watch like compilations, and if the person narrating it voice annoys me, I turn it off.
Yep. Yeah, it's like that for sure. When I interviewed Jay Bougie, that's the first time we ever met.
Right.
Because you came with him and you were shooting like a docuseries on him.
Right.
How did that all come to be?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he came with the idea just to do it, just to like more content, just to get himself. I hate the word exposure because it sounds like negative, but like he's just trying to get more content out, like just being more proactive on social media and stuff. So he had an idea to kind of like chronicle a couple of shows. I think his cousin shot a couple clips for it. Another dude, Ivani, who's super dope, who's another person who, if you see him, you're like, you're Ivani? He's dope. I hate Ivani, he's super dope. But it's kind of like chronicle a couple shows for, I forget how long it was, like how long it was planned for. But it ultimately culminated with ETU, Expect the Unexpected, where him and his partner, Pretty Boy Smooth, Urban Playboy, shout out to you, they win the inaugural Expect the Unexpected Atlantic Tag Team Championship. So they're the first tag team champions for ETU. Yeah. That kind of was the perfect ending to the show. Nice. And it's because of Jay Bougie, who's another person I have to thank for where I'm at now. Going with him to the AXW shows, the American Excellence Wrestling. Going with him to Battlefield. Going with him to Phantom 6. Going with him to Smashmaster. The shows in the in the areas that I can't get to like without driving, and just being on the road with him and hanging out with him and getting clips and stuff. He's introducing me to these people. Right. He's like, yo, this is Ant. This is my boy Ant. He does camera stuff. If you need him to shoot ringside, he'll do it. Just let him, let him know. Yeah.
Right.
So met a lot of people, more car rides, Waffle House.
Yeah.
Also shout out to Malcolm, but like more Waffle, a couple Waffle House visits. Got cool with another production guy who's a wrestler, the Asinine Assassin, Mr. Adam Bailey. Shout out to you. Another Brooklyn guy too. They trained at Gleason's together.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they know each other. There's a bunch of cats that trained at Gleason's.
Yeah.
But like that's part of the class. And me and Adam got cool through production stuff. So a couple Waffle House clips, him and his brother Teddy, super cool. Shout out to Teddy, country boy Ted. Just like I'm just around these people now.
Right.
And like you realize how small the community is when you go to a bunch of different shows and you see a lot of the same faces.
Yeah.
So like just that recognition, like, oh shit, you here too? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, what's up? You shooting? I'll be around. I bet. If you get anything, let me know.
Right.
A lot of stuff like that. So it was one of the ETU shows where Bougie tells struggles. He's like, yo, this is my boy Ant. This is what he does. Mm-hmm. And I think it was, my very first ETU show was at H2O Wrestling Center in Pennsylvania. And it got one of my favorite clips. It was Speedball Mike Bailey versus Robbie Eagles.
Okay.
And the spot is small, right? And it's a spot where they come out to the crowd and they're chopping each other. Then they go back in the ring and then they come back out. And it ends with Robbie Eagles sitting directly in front of me and Mike Bailey kicking the shit out of him. And again, I make an emphasis on making sure the audio is good. Mm-hmm. It's really good. He kicks him really hard. Like, again, it's little folding chairs and he's in front of me. Had I not put my foot on the rail mm-hmm. on the folding chair, he'd have kicked him into me.
Oh shit.
That's how hard he kicked him.
Yeah, no, 'cause he kicks crazy.
He kicks him so hard. And it's still like, it still kind of hurts to like watch. Yeah. From there, ended up at another ETU show where I actually meet Struggles mm-hmm. and find out that Struggles wants me to shoot backstage stuff, like promo stuff with him. Yeah, so that same show, I meet Gabe Sky and Akira Kwan, setting up for the tag team tournament, mm-hmm. Tidal Wave. And I shoot a quick promo with them. Yeah. Super cool. Super duper cool. But a lot of that was because of Bougie putting me in those rooms or taking me with him. Right. And he made it a point too. And it's gonna be this way forever. Right? I'm big on loyalty. Mm-hmm. And if you take a shot on me, if you believe in me, I'm gonna do everything I can to put you in a position, if I can, to succeed. And that was the agreement me and Bougie made. He's like, yo, if I make it, we make it. Period. So wherever I go, if I can bring you with me, I'm bringing you with me. Fire. And I'm 100% the same thing. So thank you, Bougie. Thanks. Thank you, my dogs, for everything so far. And there's still more to come. And I'm gonna be seeing you soon. But yeah, like it was essentially kind of just to chronicle Bougie. Mm-hmm. And through that, me and him got close. And it ended probably the best way it possibly could. Right. With him winning a very meaningful championship with one of his best friends.
Yeah, that's beautiful to hear. Though.
Yeah, man.
That's fire. What are some of your like proudest accomplishments?
Proudest accomplishments. Battleclub is definitely one of them. Battleclub, like getting close with the first company whose show I went to, who showed love, right? Is Battleclub. Brooklyn Comic Con last year, I go shoot a couple of things. It just so happens to be the boss man's birthday that day, right? And I don't know, but again, at that point, I'm cool with Santi, I'm cool with a couple of the guys, because like we're messaging back and forth and cracking jokes and stuff. Yeah. I see out of the corner of my eye, somebody has a birthday cake that they're hiding. Mm-hmm. I pull the camera up, and I get probably the most wholesome interaction you'll ever see. Because Joaquin Morales, shout out to him, he's the proprietor one of the owner operators of Battleclub Pro Wrestling. it's just a close-up of him turning red and smiling as soon as whoever comes out. I think Mr. Martinez is the one that came out with the cake.
Nice.
And Santi, maybe a beer or two deep, being Santi and singing along. Cosmic was the one that announced it in the ring.
Nice.
And it was just a dope moment. So like I get it, immediately edit it, throw it up, tag everybody in it. And Abraham Khan was like, yo, this is amazing. This is really good quality, bro. This is super dope. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Show up to more shows, hit up Joe Kim, remind him of the stuff that I got from Jobber Slam 3. He tells me to come to Jobber Slam 4. So I'll pull up and meet the roster and meet everybody that was on the card and get close to people who I had admired just from afar at that point.
Right.
Charles Mason being one of them. He's a creepy bastard, but shout out to Charles Mason. But like that was another one of those like keystone moments where it's like, oh no, you're accepted into this world.
Okay.
I got to work with Kevin Wood. I got to work with Joe Kai, Paul, shout out to Paul, who's another guy you should definitely have on the show. I got to shoot with my man Ned Slanders. Being around them with like that being kind of a year-ish unofficially, because this time was in June. So closing in on a year, being around these people and having some of them be like, I know who you are. I was like, oh shit.
That's crazy, right?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Because like I'll post or I'll send them, like I do this with House of Glory now, where if I go to a show, I'm recording the show, throwing it on my Google Drive, and sending it to everybody whose email I have. And either that night or the next night, clips are starting to come up and I'm getting tagged and stuff. And it's some of them do better than others. It's just kind of the nature of social media. But like the fact that I can pull up to shows now, and I got the last show from my man Jody Ora, shout out to Jody. He was like, oh shit, Tetsuya's here? Yo, it's gonna be a good one, I can't wait.
Nice.
He's like, yo, you the hottest in the game right now. I was like, don't tell me that. Like, cause I can't, it's difficult to internalize. Cause again, how do I know that? Right. I'm not saying that he's lying, not saying that he's disingenuous with it, but it's like, how do I know that? How do I become secure enough in myself to feel that way? Yeah. In my mind, it doesn't compute. So like, I'll take the compliment, I appreciate it. Shout out to my man for that. Thank you so much for that. But I gotta just keep doing what I've been doing. Cause otherwise, then I don't wanna be in a position where I rest on just a reputation. And I don't wanna get to a point where I feel like the industry owes me something. It doesn't. No. I'm easily replaceable. I just happen to have a camera, I just happen to have a skill set, and I just happen to put out a product that some people like.
Man, thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with me. I truly appreciate it.
I mean, thank you, man. Like this is a big deal, man. Like RingVille, and I saw RingVille shortly before coming through with Bougie, and then now I've seen it all over the place, and you've had super dope people. I'm pretty sure you'll get more and more people. It's
just very similar to you, man. Where you're in, it's like
just keep moving, man, because it happens fast.
Yeah.
It happens fast. It happens so fast. Like this, I guess, recent run that I'm on is only like 6 months. Yeah. From what, November to now, I've had the most paid gigs that I've had.
Fire.
So.
Pay production homies.
Pay production homies. It's a big deal. It's important.
OD. Oh man, anything you would like to plug to the cameras?
I stream on Twitch. Stream on Kick. Stream wherever I can stream. Tetsuya DY's my handle on Instagram. My handle on everything, but also a small EAC. So EAC, Ethereal Artisans Collective, is my studio that I co-own with two of my best friends. And we're in Dumbo, literally around the corner from Gleason's. So we offer photography, videography, and I'm the sound engineer. So if you want to record promos, if you want to record a podcast, if you want to record music, got you covered, flip boy.
Well, man, thank you very much. Truly appreciate it.
Oh my God, appreciate you.
Of course. Until next time, everyone. We out.